So it's Tuesday evening, January the 5th, 2010. Feeling a lot of anxiety. I feel like my world is spinning around. Feeling anxiety from my dating life. What if you're seeing someone and you fear that you want her more than she wants you? And what if you want her more than she wants you, and that gap, that discrepancy, that's greater than I feel like my ability to soothe myself? So that just leaves me with anxiety. The anxiety about money. I'm trolling Craigslist and looking for work, particularly writing work. And seems to be a lot of cheap, scammy come-ons, but not much really out there. Feeling anxiety about my mouse. I've had this mouse for about 4 years, 3 years. It's in pretty good service, but it's not working so well the last few weeks. I'm having to grip it more tightly, and that's putting a lot of tension in my shoulders and back. Like my nifty keyboard. Got it from safetype.com. It's good for working with carpal tunnel. It's a lot easier to type like this than like this. When you type like this, you've got a lot of tension here, here, here. You type like this, that tension goes away. Then I'm feeling anxious because I was just reading an article on tabletmag.com, is yoga kosher? And today's the day I need to renew my yoga membership for another year, get unlimited yoga for $1,000. So this is a big expense, and I don't have much money. But as I'm going about 4 or 5 times a week, it only works out to about $4 or $5 a class, so I feel like it's a good deal. But is yoga kosher? So I'm a convert to Orthodox Judaism, so I feel like I have to prove myself more than your average Orthodox Jew. And I sometimes go to Chabad shuls, and I was just reading in this article that the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Menachem Schneerson, said that yoga and transcendental meditation is not kosher. Well, I'm fine with not doing transcendental meditation. I don't even know what that is, but I definitely like doing yoga. And I put my hands in prayer pose like everyone else and say, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So I do the mantras. So I do Kundalini yoga. And I go to a Chabad shul, and the Rebbe said that all yoga is not kosher. So that makes me feel a little anxious. I'm reading this great book. It's called Passionate Marriage by Dr. David Schnarch, Schnarch. You don't have to be married. I've never been married to get something out of this book. It's introduced all sorts of powerful thoughts that I had not considered before. Differentiation, I'd never even heard of that term, but it's the ability to hold on to yourself and your own integrity while maintaining a relationship with another person. So for instance, a highly differentiated person, when he's having a conflict, he's able to stay in the relationship, simultaneously self-soothe his anxiety over the conflict, and relate to his partner and deal with the conflict. A less differentiated person will have to take a break from the relationship and go off, self-soothe, think things through, and then come back to deal with the conflict. Then a very poorly differentiated person will lash out at the partner, or will just run away, or will self-soothe through using drugs or food or other unhealthy means. So there's so many powerful thoughts in this book. It's recommended to me by my therapist and by a social worker friend. And in therapy the other day, I kept answering my therapist's questions with quotations from this book, which kind of put a distance between us. I'm doing psychodynamic therapy. It's a type of therapy that's most similar to analysis, and it's very important that you bond with your therapist. So I've been using this book as a distancing technique when the questions are making me too anxious. And such as, what do I get out of staying in an emotionally unsafe relationship. It allows me to devalue the relationship so I don't have to be as anxious about losing it. Like if I was walking around feeling like I was carrying $1 million diamond, and also that I could lose it at any moment, I'd be really anxious. But if I'm walking around feeling like I'm only carrying a dollar bill and that I could lose it at any moment, I'm not going to be that anxious. So I'm able to devalue the relationship if it's an emotionally unsafe one, not treat it as that important. So that's what I get out of being in an emotionally unsafe relationship. This book says that people tend to date and marry others who are at the same level of differentiation, that we all tend to be at the same level of differentiation as our family and parents, and that we only become more differentiated through crisis and through the hard work of therapy, and that becoming more differentiated is a lot of hard work. It's all about self-confrontation, seeing yourself accurately. Okay, so we'll see how I deal with my anxiety.